Hey guys, my name is Brandon and welcome to or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you like what you see in here, you're more than welcome to hit the subscribe button so you stay notified every time I upload a new video. Okay, let's get straight on with today's video. Hey everyone and welcome back to Is That More Brandon. So in today's video I'm going to be doing a review to the 14th episode of Big Brother. So today is eviction day, so we just found out who got evicted from the show. I would literally nearly just said who got evicted, but I'm going to get to that at the end of the video. So, at the beginning of Tuesday's episode, Bradley was making Cocoa Pops and he was just about to tip them in a bowl and they ended up splitting, all going on the floor. It's more like Cocoa gone than Cocoa Pops. And then Nikita asked Fern if she was okay, and obviously she seemed a little bit upset. Marisha came to the diary room explaining that this has been a bit of a roller coaster. Her best friend, Ekin-Su, that was in the house previously, she didn't realise she was actually going to make her upset that she was nominated, and she was going to hold on to the other housemates when obviously it came around to eviction time, saying that she's going to miss the singing, and obviously if she goes, that people will miss the singing, the entertainment, the fun, the comedy, if she wasn't in the house anymore. David asked Nikita if there was a difference between the Russian and Ukrainian language, and Nikita said yes and no, I guess, at the same time, but you can kind of tell the difference, and he's in the process of learning Russian, and I think he taught David and Bradley how to pronounce, how to sing Happy Birthday. Louis was having a chat with Marisha and Zizi talking about Girls Aloud, saying that he was really happy that the four of them were obviously back. Kind of, you know, unfortunately we've had the loss of Sarah Harding, but there are still the four girls back. And then Zizi basically explained that Cheryl wasn't really needed on her own, and I think they kind of all agreed that, I think Louis said that they didn't really make America, they kind of were just a British phenomenon, for what we can call it, saying that he was actually her manager back in the day. And I think she ended up getting in a situation where she had some sort of court case or allegation or something, but he did say that she's come out of that quite well, with Zizi saying that she still managed to thrive from that. David actually continued his concern for Fern, so he actually asked Bradley if she was alright, saying that she felt a little bit awkward, and that with everyone else there's not really anybody speaking to each other, with Bradley adding, yeah, it does feel a little bit weird, we all had to nominate, so yeah, it's just a bit of a weird situation. Nikita came to the diary room saying that he would be proud even if he was to leave today. He's been 100% himself every single day, and he's not putting on any sort of mask or playing any sort of games. Louis, Zizi, Marisha and Fern were all having a chat, and Louis basically, again, dropping names left, right and centre, but saying, look, Mariah doesn't do stairs, as in Mariah Carey, and Marisha said that when she was doing some sort of Mariah compilation performance, she knows that people had to carry Mariah up the stairs, with Fern asking why can't she walk, is it her shoes? And I think they all kind of agreed, including Zizi, basically saying, can you actually look glamorous going up or down a set of stairs? The answer is no, and you want to look good, so you want to get to the top of the stairs as quickly as possible. And then Fern came to the diary room saying that she feels wretched about the whole Louis situation, and she doesn't want to keep it a secret. So Big Brother and her basically agreed she would gather the housemates to obviously tell them. Marisha said to Louis the lack of the Irish saved him. And then Fern had a chat with Louis and Marisha, basically briefly just saying, I need to gather everyone to the living room immediately, with Marisha going, oh no, and Louis going, what, why, what's happened? And she goes, no more questions, just come to the living room. And then I think Zizi was in the bathroom and she kind of looked back saying, oh my god, Fern, you're not going, are you? With Marisha saying that something is happening. And then obviously Fern revealed that it was her that put the snake in Louis' bed, with Louis saying, I didn't know it was you. Thought it was one of them, with Bradley going, we know, as in like, because there's kind of like a 5-3 divide, it's like Louis, Marisha, Zizi on one side and then the rest on the other side. And then Fern said, look, I just want to say sorry to everybody, with Louis saying apology is accepted. And then I think she got a little bit upset and Louis said, no, it's fine, I don't care, it's all good, with David saying, well actually, Fern has feelings, so she's still going to get a little bit upset about it. Bradley, Nikita and David were having a quick chat, and David said to them he was going to pretend to go to the diary room and kind of play a prank on someone, and he told Zizi he was going to tell Marisha he had a pretend secret mission, having to take all of the cutlery upstairs. And then Coulson also did a prank on Louis, saying that there's obviously infestation in the bathroom, there's lots of spiders, and then he got tickled with a little cleaning brush by Nikita and said, no, I don't believe it, load of crap, like you're pranking me, whatever. So yeah, we saw David whisper the secret mission to Marisha, about the whole cutlery situation, and Bradley also explained to Fern what David's plan was as well. So it's kind of like a team prank on Marisha, basically. And then obviously when Marisha was cleaning everything up, Zizi obviously was in with the prank as well, and she said, "Marisha, what are you doing with all that cutlery?" And then obviously in the end they couldn't stop laughing, and Marisha looked at David and said, "You're lying, I hate you, like why did I believe all that, whatever," and then everyone knew as well. And then Louis came to the diary room saying that he never suspected Fern. She knows what she wants, she's a fantastic actress, and she's being nice to everyone, but she wants to win the show. So I think that's quite an analytical thing from Louis, that, you know, she is there to play a game, but they are all there to play a game. But yeah, he knows that she wants to win. Fern was having a little sing with a few of the others in the outside area, and Zizi looked at Louis while he was obviously having a conversation with her and David, saying, "What are you plotting, Louis?" with Louis saying nothing. And she basically explained that on TV he's entertaining, but living with him is a completely different situation. He said regarding X Factor that when he was given Westlife for JLS, he thought that was going to be an amazing performance, obviously for their winner's performance. And then last minute in the final week, Simon managed to claim Beyonce for Alexandra Burke. And obviously because her judge at the time was Cheryl, he absolutely loved Cheryl. So I guess Simon and Cheryl had that quick, easier bond. And then, yeah, Louis was still happy with the performance, but it was kind of last minute. It was like, oh, if you're going to have Beyonce, you're obviously going to win the show. And then I think, yeah, David asked how Cheryl is as a person, and she said she's a good person. She's not perfect, but she is nice. So that was Louis' analysis there. And then as we get into the final part of the programme, so the task next was the housemates on trial, and if the housemate was to lose the case, they would have jail time in the CBBB jail. Coulson came to the diary room asking what cowardice meant, and Celebrity Big Brother explained to him that it was the opposite of being brave or confident. And then Lord Chief Justice Big Brother welcomed Judge Simon to the court, with Marisha going Simon Cowell. And it ended up being Lauren Simon, obviously previous housemate from the competition. She was the judge, and she basically made sure that everyone was in order. So there was 3 cases in total. So it was defendant, prosecution, and defence team. So you had the House versus Marisha on being a game player. Her defence was Zizi and her prosecutor was David. And David straight away said, "Objection, are we allowed to do that?" with Lauren saying, "No, we can't do that." Zizi explained that Louis been singing the client's praise, saying that she's got a lot of talent, looks after other housemates, and has raw emotion, and if being authentic is a crime, to charge her immediately. David said that she's talented, she's a singer, she's an actress. Tears can easily fall from her cheeks. The whole kissing booth situation and worrying about Ekin-Su beating her in the final. She's done so many shows, it's giving villain vibes. Marisha explained that she is an actress, she has been on stage, and she's in a game, and she may be a game player, but then we're all playing a game. And then Lauren did the verdict that Marisha wanted to be the lead cop in the other game, and found Marisha guilty. So Marisha being guilty, and Zizi, her prosecutor, were obviously the first 2 in the prison. Up next was David, and his case was for inconsiderate noise. His defence team was Fern, and his prosecutor was obviously Louis. So Fern basically said being inconsiderate is kind of like an irritation, but she would use words such as cheery and kind to describe David. He's a renowned voice artist, and he's considerate, well modulated, things like that. Louis said that he seems to think he's a superstar, especially in his own mind. He likes to roar around the house, and do people like being loud at 2 o'clock in the morning, because there's evidence suggesting that people don't like this. And then Lauren read out some of the evidence, and it was like, at this time of the day, David was singing, at this time of the day, David was singing, at this time of the day, David was singing. And David explained the evidence is not making sense, it's horrendous, and yeah, it's all make-believe. And he basically said, we're not all sometimes feeling a little bit lost in here sometimes. His aim is to obviously provide entertainment and fun, and he's here for that. And then he just bursted into a song. Lauren explained it was horrific when she was living in the house, and also found him guilty. So David and his defence Fern were also sent to the jail as well. And then finally, it was again the House against Bradley for being cowardice or being shy. His prosecution was Coulson, but his defence was Marisha. So Coulson basically said that this word relates to courage, and some of his friends stepped forward, but he didn't in the courage task, with Brad saying he's not a coward as a person, but in that particular challenge, he was obviously quite shy or quite backwards. And then Marisha explained that being cowardice is someone who's lacking in confidence or bravery. He's 22, he's a neurodivergent, he's an actor, and he's actually bravely stepped into the Celebrity Big Brother house, eating the strange food at the tea party, facing struggles in his life, and he stands with his courage, wearing rainbows, his frog headband, and he wouldn't shy away from different tasks or different times. In the end, Lauren explained that he was gentle, calm and caring and not guilty, so he was absolutely free, and the prosecution Coulson had to join the rest of them in jail. So in the end, we saw Marisha, Coulson, Fern, Zizi and David go into the jail for either losing their case or being the losing housemate, with Marisha asking if she could get out on parole, Bradley saying pillows for everyone, donated by the Big Brother house. Coulson actually then asked everyone whether they prefer to be constantly sneezing or constantly farting. The rest of them said sneeze, and Fern said fart, because it's just nice. David said he loves picking his nose, and Zizi said she loves taking her bra off when she goes home at the end of the day, with David joking, going, oh my god, yeah, I get that feeling, but obviously I'm presuming he doesn't. And then Nikita and Bradley were having a quick chat, and I think Nikita nudged Bradley, because Louis was about to start washing up his plate. And then he both looked at both of them and was like, what are you two giggling at? And Bradley just said, look, I thought you were actually going to wash up your plate for once. And then outside of the jail, Marisha said to Louis, outside in the prison, Marisha said that Louis is invincible, he'll make it to the end. Zizi said that we get on really well, but there are obviously some situations that are a bit off. And David said that he likes playing the baddie, but he's probably a real softie. And then Louis came out asking everyone if they were all okay. I think they joked saying they wanted a takeaway, and he said hopefully you guys won't be out here much longer. The jail housemates all came to the diary room once they were free, with Marisha learning that they shouldn't be losing the case, going to prison. David asked who invited Lauren, and Zizi saying that the justice system she found out was now corrupt, which she already knew already. And David said that for moral support, Louis coming outside saying that they wouldn't be there for long actually kind of spurred them on to the end. Nikita, Bradley and Louis were having a little sing-song outside, with Nikita asking Louis what his role was, and he said, I'm a finalist, with Louis having a reply from Nikita saying not yet, because he's not actually a finalist. He could almost make the final, but he's not a finalist. Zizi came to the diary room saying that she was happy with how today has gone. There were lots of different characters that she thought she wouldn't be able to get on well with, so for example David. They're very different people, and she now thinks that she's really, really close with him and they have some sort of common ground once you get to know someone a little bit better. Fern said to Nikita that you and I get on really well whenever they're playing games, and to never change his brain, because it's great. And she basically said that on the previous day, he basically said that she had a really, really nice jumper and that it was obviously in fashion, which I think was just a compliment, but she's obviously taken it as it's kind of like a backwards compliment, that is like you automatically assuming that because she's older, she doesn't know much about fashion or clothes, things like that. So she just said, don't look at an old person and think that we're just old, we are still with it, we are still with the times and things like that. And he basically replied very softly saying, well, hang on, like, is there any drama here? Is there any beef here? Like, what's the situation? And then as she went to go on to explain, he said, well, hang on, you're creating something out of nothing now. With Louis asking Zizi what that was all about, and Zizi saying, no idea. So Nikita and Fern had a quick chat outside, and he basically said to her, it wasn't a backhanded compliment, it was genuinely that you had a nice jumper on that day. Not sure what he has against her or what she has against him. And Fern basically said, look, come and sit down, there's no drama, there's no offence, and her intentions, there was no intention behind her comment at all. So she did try and ask him to sit down. He didn't, he kind of just grabbed his teddy bear and then went back inside. And then we saw Coulson and Nikita both in the same sleeping bag trying to fit, and then obviously they fell over. And then Fern had a quick chat with Louis, obviously they're the two oldest ones in the house now, and she basically said to Louis that Nikita thinks that she's made an attack on him, and Louis said that he shouldn't take things to heart. He says things all the time and people are not supposed to get hurt by it. And then David came to the diary room saying he's had a few days that have been a bit wavy. The whole Fern and Nikita argument has actually thrown everyone off. And then we went to the house for the live eviction, and we found out that two of the housemates were going to be evicted. So the first housemate evicted was Marisha, with her saying thank you everyone, explaining to Will and AJ she couldn't believe that she was out. And then very briefly back to the house, Zizi was the second to be evicted as well. She said that obviously she had mixed emotions. She was happy to see everyone outside, and she seemed to explain that Louis was a frenemy of hers for life. 6 housemates left: David, Bradley, Fern, Louis, Nikita and Coulson, and Fern was the surviving lady. But obviously only 5 of the housemates were going to make the live final on Friday, so I presume on Thursday we're going to lose another one, because yeah, I think there's only 2 days before Friday. I don't think they'd get rid of someone on Wednesday. It's a little bit weird. You'd want to do it the night before. So yeah, that's where we are at the end of episode 14. So we have our final 6, almost our finalists. I think David is really funny. He's very over the top, but he's very, very involved. And there's lots of things that he says that are very, very funny. Coulson, he's not my favourite, but he obviously did something well. He obviously has the public support getting him through to the final, not being nominated once, I don't think, or not being up for nomination or eviction once. Again, same with Bradley. He's had a couple of nominations, but again, hasn't been up for eviction. I think he's nice. I think he is a little bit shy, but I guess he is opening up to some of the housemates in different ways. He obviously is still young as well, so maybe it's a little bit too much for him being on TV, or, you know, being in a house full of people that you just don't know, like, especially with autism and neurodiverse and things like that. Fern, final girl left. She must have done something right to get to the final. Louis, again, I guess people either hate or don't hate him, and again, he must be doing something right to have had immunity in the last nomination, and then also potentially be one step forward to the final. And then for Nikita, again, I think he's a really, really nice guy. So yeah, he did try and start a little bit of random drama with Fern over absolutely nothing. He could have just said, oh, okay, if that's what you think, fine, and then just move on, but they kind of ended up having that same argument 3 times. But yeah, I think that was a little bit dramatic. But yeah, that was the end of that. So if you do enjoy and did enjoy this video, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And until my next review, thank you for watching and goodbye.